Live from Atlantis, new tonight on Our News, live at 7, celebrating 25 years. Our week-long broadcast from the home of the mystical Lost City starts tonight as Royal Towers celebrates a birthday. But first, tragedy strikes as an American woman is killed by a shark. Plus, day in court. The man accused of setting his family on fire now faces charges of attempted murder. Then in Our News at 7:30, the former head boy who was illegally detained by police speaks out after winning his court battle. Our News live at 7 starts right now. From the Saul Kersner Suite in the Coral Towers at Atlantis, this is Our News live at 7. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Kendino Knowles. On December 10th, 1998, the world-renowned Royal Towers at Atlantis officially opened. The next day, the ribbon was cut. The celebration continued into the 12th. And now, after years of monumental moments of luxury experiences and world-class entertainment, the Royal is turning 25. Over the next week, we'll be coming to you live from the resort as we celebrate the mystical history of this resort. We'll show you the massive renovations and upgrades and tell you the story of how the resort has helped to build our community. And of course, it wouldn't be a real celebration without some major giveaways. I'm excited to tell you all about it in just a bit. But first, a newly married groom grieving tonight after police say his wife was attacked by a shark in waters behind the Sandals Resort. The Boston native is believed to be in her 40s, and according to police press liaison officer Sergeant Desiree Ferguson, the couple was paddle boarding just after 11 a.m.
The female, along with a male relative, were paddle boarding just at the rear of a resort in Western New Providence, some 3/4 miles out from the shoreline, when she was bitten by the shark. A lifeguard on duty who saw what was happening, who observed what was happening, went out in a rescue boat, retrieved the victim along with the male relative, and brought them to safety. CPR was administered to the victim. However, she suffered serious injuries to the right side of her body, including the right hip region and also her right upper limb. Emergency medical services responded to the scene. They thoroughly assessed the victim, and they declared that she showed no vital signs of life.
Sergeant Ferguson calling it an unfortunate situation.
We extend our heartfelt condolences on behalf of our commissioner and the Royal Bahamas Police Force for this most unfortunate situation.
And a 29-year-old man who police say set his uncle and grandmother on fire during an argument, now facing attempted murder charges. Ricardo Richardson allegedly poured a flammable liquid and lit his uncle Emily Humes and his 74-year-old grandmother Mangola Moxie a fire at their Gibbs Corner home on November 27. Richardson, who stood before Magistrate Algernon Allen Jr., didn't have to plead to the charges and bail was denied. He's expected to be indicted on March 28th. We are just getting started in Our News, but when we come back, still breaking records. The tourism minister reports more than 8 million visitor arrivals and counting. Plus, 25 years in the making. Atlantis celebrates the opening of Royal Towers. We take a look back at the remarkable ceremony. And a senior executive joins us on set when Our News returns. It's a story that's been 25 years in the making, and Our News is here to tell it. The Atlantis Resort opened the world-famous Royal Towers 25 years ago. Watch Our News live at 7 and 7:30 nightly starting December 4th for a week on location from the Towers. It's time to celebrate and commemorate 25 years with the place helping to make our tourism industry great. Join us for the biggest birthday party in the country starting Monday, December 4th.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus, it ensures that your messages are delivered directly to your customers' cellular phones, guaranteeing higher engagement. Save time and boost your outreach with SMS bulk messaging. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
Looking at live pictures outside of the Royal Towers at Atlantis Resort that's celebrating 25 years. Welcome back to Our News. The Bahamas has broken a new record with more than 8 million visitor arrivals and counting, and tourism officials, they're also celebrating. Berthany McDermott has the details.
To date, for this year, the Bahamas has recorded a smashing 8 million plus tourist arrivals.
Cooper says these figures don't include arrivals for November and December, as forward bookings for December remain strong. The acting prime minister told a room full of industry professionals the year started stronger than years before.
For the first 10 consecutive months, January to October, total air and sea arrivals were higher when compared to the same months in 2022 and in 2019, which was then our banner year of tourism. We have now successfully moved the goalpost.
The United States remains the top market, and Cooper says the Latin American market is growing. But air arrivals weren't the only area that saw a boost.
Cruise arrivals were up 54% over 2022 levels and 43.2% over 2019 levels.
With the boom in arrivals, there remains concern that visitors aren't spending when they arrive to the various destinations. But as Cooper explains, its estimated visitors spend will also see an uptick by the end of the year.
We estimate that direct visitor spend in the Bahamian economy as a result of these arrivals will far exceed $6 billion.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
All right, thanks a lot for that, Berthany. Well, speaking of celebrating in tourism, 25 years ago, the Bahamas Tourism Ministry and the Bahamas at large undergoing a major renaissance with the opening of the Royal Towers. Jerome Sawyer gives us a bit of nostalgia with a look back at the opening gala.
The mystery of the Atlantis continent may be tied to a centuries-old story. But the story of Atlantis in the Bahamas started in 1994 when the late Saul Kerzner purchased the former Resorts International.
Let this be all about the ocean, and let's bring Atlantis out of the ocean.
Phase 1 included the renovation of the now beach and coral towers. 2 years later, Phase 2, the Grand Royal Towers, opened. It was an $800 million expansion, the spectacular Mayan Temple Waterside Complex. 6 swimming areas, the world's largest open-air marine environment with 11 million gallons of water, and the Royal Marina to host mega yachts. In total, a 14-acre waterscape of pools, waterfalls, a lazy river, and 6 exhibit lagoons, including an underwater tunnel with a shark habitat. Some of the most talented artists in the world helped to create the extraordinary vision.
And even if people don't notice all the detail, they'll feel it.
In December of 1998, the Royal Towers at Atlantis officially opened, unveiling some iconic images like this that are still synonymous with the hotel even today. But at that time, it brought what could easily be described as the party of the century.
Behold, Atlantis rising from the sea!
Over 60 A-list artists, names like Michael Jackson and Stevie Wonder, Stephanie Mills and Natalie Cole and Quincy Jones, to name a few, and dignitaries, including an American business mogul named Donald Trump, descended on the Bahamas for the party of the century. For a young 20-something-year-old reporter, it was the assignment of a lifetime. As a part of the two-day live broadcast, I was able to snag some of the biggest names in the business: Oprah Winfrey, Natalie Cole, Stephanie Mills, Casey and the Sunshine Band, and Sidney Poitier. All filed past our cameras for the 2 days. The Royal Towers brought with it a 1,200-room hotel and $650 million resort and casino with museum-quality works of art, glass sculptures valued at $1 million each, and a rejuvenated gaming environment. Tourism in the Bahamas was about to undergo the greatest renaissance in decades.
All right, what a look back. For more on the celebration, we are happy to be joined tonight by Atlanta's Senior Vice President of Government Affairs and Special Projects, Vaughn Roberts. Mr. Roberts, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Listen, when you see that, obviously a proud moment, I think, for us at Our News, seeing our executive producer, Jerome, covering that story 25 years ago. Quite interesting to see, because he has so much historical reference to bring to the story. But when you see it, how does that make you feel?
You know, it's quite special. It was a very special moment in time for the Bahamas and for our tourism back in 1998. And in many ways, I think we're in a very special moment today. Atlantis then and now has been and continues to be like a significant player in the sector, and quite frankly, quite a leader in the sector. And so, I came to this morning from the celebration of the record-breaking milestone in visitor arrivals.
Yeah, sure.
Which again, I think signals kind of where we are in our tourism sector and the growth that we've seen over the 25 years. And I'm just so delighted that Atlantis has been an important part of that experience over the last 25 years.
I guess for me, I'm curious, how have things changed since that time, right? I mean, you walk through the hotel and there are some obvious changes, but walk us through some of the most significant advancements.
Yeah, well, one of the things that was very significant, obviously, Atlantis came about from the vision of Saul Kersner, who was a brilliant resort developer. And in the interceding years, the ownership structure changed, and we're now owned by Brookfield, which is a Canadian hedge fund and private equity firm. And so I think in terms of the resort itself, the original visionary is no longer with us, unfortunately, but still the story of Atlantis and the passion for the vision and the people, our team members who work for Atlantis, continue to build on the vision of Saul. And right now we're at a point over the last few years where we've been really retooling the resort, reinvesting a significant amount of capital in refurbishing the resort and really try to set it up for a future that's going to be bright.
Yeah, I guess to that point, what does the next 25 years look like?
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. I mean, obviously, we also know that Atlantis has really been a catalyst for additional development and significant development in the tourism sector here in the Bahamas, and throughout the region. And so, in the face of that development, with Bahamar coming on stream and other big resorts, we really see the Bahamas strengthening its position within the Caribbean as a tourism leader, and perhaps even more globally.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, Atlantis being so iconic, it's going to be around for 100+ years.
Yeah.
It's just the kind of resort that you can imagine 100 years from now still existing.
For sure. We've got so much stories to tell from here. Before we go, what's your favorite spot around the resort?
You know, I quite like the Cove and the Reef.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a brilliant design architecturally.
I'm there with you. Kane at the Cove. Thank you so much. That was Atlanta Senior Vice President Vaughn Roberts. Thank you for sharing that with us and for allowing us to help you celebrate. We've got a lot more coming from the resort this week as we help Atlanta celebrate 25 years. And we've got a number of giveaways for you, our viewers. We want you to head over to Our News Bahamas social media pages. You'll find out the trivia questions that could land you dinners for two or extended stays. We'll tell you all about it and your chance to win coming up. When our news comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world as the head of COP28 on the defense over controversial climate change comments. Plus, the Albanian opposition, defiant over claims of corruption, taking smoke bombs to the House of Parliament. And a former U.S. ambassador accused of serving as a Cuban agent is arrested. When our news returns. It's a story that's been 25 years in the making, and our news is here to tell it. The Atlantis Resort opened the world-famous Royal Towers 25 years ago. Watch our news live at 7 and 7:30 nightly starting December 4th for a week on location from the towers. It's time to celebrate and commemorate 25 years with the place helping to make our tourism industry great. Join us for the biggest birthday party in the country starting Monday, December 4th.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
This is our news. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. Ongoing UN climate talks, Sultan Al-Jaber hitting back at claims that he denies a core part of climate science. It follows his earlier comments that there was no science behind requiring the end of fossil fuels in order to limit temperature rise to 1.5 degrees Celsius. Here's Al-Jaber addressing the controversy at COP28 in Dubai.
The attempts to undermine the message that we keep repeating when it comes to how much we respect the science and how we ensured that the science is what dictates our strategy for our strategic imperatives and the objectives we want to deliver at COP28. But one statement taken out of context with misrepresentation and misinterpretation that gets maximum coverage. Again, I respect facts, I respect numbers, and these are the facts on the ground.
An Albanian opposition member of parliament disrupted a plenary session of parliament on Monday, igniting smoke bombs and setting paper on fire, accusing the government of trying to silence the opposition. Democratic Party of Albania MP Falmor Noka held the smoke bomb in the center of the chamber. Last month, prosecutors charged former prime minister and de facto leader of the DPA, Sali Berisha, and his son-in-law with corruption over a land deal. On November 20th, opposition members also set off smoke bombs and lit a small fire in Parliament to try and stop the chamber from voting on the 2024 budget. And a former American diplomat who served as U.S. ambassador to Bolivia has been arrested in a long-running FBI counterintelligence investigation and is accused of secretly serving as an agent of Cuba's government. The Associated Press reports 73-year-old Manuel Rocha was arrested in Miami on Friday on a criminal complaint. The Justice Department declined to comment. All right, well, each week we'll tell you about special projects being tackled by the Ministry of Works and Family Island Affairs. But as our Jasmine Brown tells us in tonight's Work in Progress, it's not always about infrastructural projects. It's also about making a difference.
When you think about the Ministry of Works and Family Island Affairs, you likely think about repairs to public infrastructure. But the ministry's work goes well beyond that. The most recent example of their community involvement was on full display last week when the Zonta Club of Nassau partnered with the ministry to raise awareness and spark conversation regarding gender-based violence as a part of their Say No to Violence campaign. They took their message to the Best of the Best Regatta Committee, which falls under the MOWFIA. Works and Family Island Affairs Minister Clay Sweeting.
The Ministry of Works and Family Island Affairs is pleased to have the Zonta Club of Nassau partner with us at our signature event, the Best of the Best Regatta, by tying their signature orange ribbons on trees you can see around the site on Montague this weekend. These orange ribbons for Zonta and for other persons should realize that they symbolize the global 16 days of activism against gender-based violence.
On Friday, the regatta site was adorned with several orange ribbons that represent solidarity in eliminating all forms of violence.
Orange ribbons tied around trees at Montague Bay is a great way to get everyone participating in conversations regarding all forms of violence against all genders, whether girls, boys, women, or men.
Reporting for Work in Progress for Our News, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Still to come in our news, today in history, find out interesting facts about the day that was December 4th. Then in our news at 7:30, that former head boy who was illegally detained by police is speaking out in an Our News exclusive. Plus, our Danielle Miller shows you how to live like a royal as Atlantis celebrates 25 years. Our coverage live from Atlantis is back in a moment. It's a story that's been 25 years in the making, and our news is here to tell it. The Atlantis Resort opened the world-famous Royal Towers 25 years ago. Watch our news live at 7 and 7:30 nightly starting December 4th for a week on location from the towers. It's time to celebrate and commemorate 25 years with the place helping to make our tourism industry great. Join us for the biggest birthday party in the country starting Monday, December 4th.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
Welcome back to our news. It's time now to turn our spotlight on events that shaped the day that was December 4th. On this day in Bahamian history in 1986, the Department of Archives opened on Mackey Street in Nassau. It was established by an Act of Parliament in 1971 and is the final repository for permanent records and archives of the government. And in 2013, more than 2 years after 11-year-old Marco Archer was murdered by a sexual predator, Parliament moved the highly anticipated amendment to the Child Protection Act named in Marco's memory. Marco's law, which has since been passed, established the guidelines for mandatory action rescuing children operation and establishes guidelines for the country's first ever missing child alert system and sexual offenders registry. Today, it is known as Marco's Alert and has been operational for the past year. Here's then National Security Minister, the late Dr. Bernard Nottage.
And today I have the honor to bring legislation to this Parliament as a result of his tragedy. Although it brings some sense of accomplishment to what was a horrific tragedy, Mr. Speaker. The alert system that we are today, the guidelines for today, is similar to the Amber Alert in the United States.
And of course, the Atlantis Resort still celebrating 25 years here in the Bahamas. And if you didn't know, the resort's been doing its part to connect with the local community for decades. Senior executive sharing with our Talia Hall some of those efforts.
Being the size that Atlantis is, it wants to be a good corporate citizen.
Over the past 25 years, Atlantis has kept a keen eye on the local community, focusing its attention across Paradise Island Bridge, where it has made a tremendous impact on the lives of Bahamians. It's a focus that Senior Vice President of Legal Affairs Vianna Gardner says all began with the original owners, adding that the resort's holistic approach to building community spans across the cultural, academic, athletic, and health sectors.
With the Red Cross, with Hands for Hunger when it came on board, with the AIDS Foundation in particular, with the Cancer Society and other organizations like Ride for Hope, for example, who's been around, I think, for about 15 years.
The Atlanteans, as they are referred to, are team members that take part in the community building effort with pride. Most recently, they led a much-needed food drive across the property.
Together, the 6,000 plus of us collected 4 tons of food. And this food for Thanksgiving was split up and distributed to all of the geriatric homes, and there was so much, we also gave a donation to the Ramfully Home for Children. One project that I'm particularly proud of is the Community Services Committee of Atlantis worked with the Autism Center at the Goventines Primary School.
And now the resort's efforts don't stop here. This as in 2019, the company came to the aid of families impacted by Hurricane Dorian in Grand Bahama and Abaco.
World Kitchen outreach was established here with Chef Jose Andres and his team, just feeding hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of Bahamians for extended periods of time.
As for how their efforts impact young people,
all of the funds that's raised in the annual golf tournament where large numbers of the business community in particular contribute, those funds are used by the Governor General's Youth Award Program throughout the country.
And 25 years later, Gardner says there's no slowing down.
All right, to watch that story again and for all of today's top stories, visit ournews.bs. It's going to do it for us in News at 7. Joining us now is Natalia Hall with the latest headlines. And Natalia, looks like you had fun today.
Yes, Candino, I had a great time on property today. I had an opportunity to pet sharks, starfish, and so much more. But be sure to stay tuned for that. Here are your latest headlines.
Our journey through Atlantis 25 years later continues. First tonight on Our News Live at 7:30. Living like a royal. Our Daniel Miller is live. Plus, a teenager who wins a court battle after he was held unlawfully by police speaks exclusively with our Berthany McDermott. Also, a thank you for the help. Those Potter's Key dog vendors who lost their stalls in a recent fire get some private-public partnership assistance. And later, fans are upset as Junkanoo tickets go quickly. But chief sponsor Alive says many of the prime seats were reserved even before the tickets went on sale. Our News Live at 7:30 is back in a moment.
It's a story that's been 25 years in the making, and Our News is here to tell it. The Atlantis Resort opened the world-famous Royal Towers 25 years ago. Watch Our News Live at 7 and 7:30 nightly starting December 4th for a week on location from the towers. It's time to celebrate and commemorate 25 years with the place helping to make our tourism industry great. Join us for the biggest birthday party in the country starting Monday, December 4th.
This season, set your table with custom holiday accessories from Executive Printers. Browse our selection of tumblers, coasters, placemats, keychains, mugs, and don't forget the calendars. You can even design your own personalized items with a quick turnaround time. We are located at 53 Jerome Avenue, opposite National Plumbing. Call 393-5011 or email us at sales@epbahamas.com or check us out on Facebook.
Janae's Christmas Wonderland is open under the big tent. Get 20 to 50% off selected Christmas decorations. Restrictions apply. Trees in pink, frosted green or white in a variety of sizes. LED and laser lights, a large variety of tree ornaments, lighted angels, Santa tree toppers, bright and lively colored Christmas balls, garlands, wreaths, red and white stringed cranberry, tree skirts, stockings, and lots more. Add flowers, picks, and decorative mesh to brighten up your home or office this holiday season. And don't forget the toys at Janae's Chesapeake Road. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Janae's Limited. WhatsApp 817-3295.
Have you heard that sound? It's the sound of us. Since our origins, we burst music. Our sounds mixed together. So let us hear your sound too. Your sound of passion, of joy, of friendship. The sound of your style and the beat of your night. It's time to play together the sound of Guinness, the sounds of greatness.
Doctors Hospital is reimagined primary care. We have invested to improve our health system, ensuring that accessible, affordable, world-class clinical care is closer to you. Your relationship with a primary care provider shapes the foundation of your overall health. Our new, modern primary care facilities are where critical diagnosis and true personalized treatment begin, with locations across
Welcome to Our News and thank you for joining us. I'm Natalia Hall. On December 10th, 1998, the world-renowned Royal Towers at Atlantis officially opened. The next day, the ribbon was cut. The celebration continued into the 12th. And now, after years of monumental moments of luxury experiences and world-class entertainment, the Royal is turning 25. Over the next week, we will be coming to you live from the resort as we celebrate their history. We'll show you the massive renovations and upgrades and tell you the story of how the resort has helped to build our community. And of course, it wouldn't be a real celebration without some major giveaways. Check in on all of our social media pages for tonight's trivia question. We'll tell you about it all in just a bit. But first, a former head boy who was unlawfully arrested was awarded $50,000 by the Supreme Court and is now sharing the tale of the traumatic experience. The now 20-year-old tells our Berthany McDermott he's glad the situation is behind him.
It was a validation of the truth prevailing over an unjust situation.
D'Amico Roll Jr. was awarded $50,000 in damages by a Supreme Court judge after succeeding in an unlawful arrest claim. Roll was arrested after a SWAT team raided his home in search of drugs and guns. During the search, officers found a shotgun belonging to his father, which was unlicensed at the time. His father was not arrested, but the teen was on suspicion of organized crime and thrown in the trunk of a SWAT SUV. Roll and his family recall about 30 law enforcement officers invading their Adelaide Village home on September 16, 2020, when he was arrested. He says the ordeal has had a lasting impact on him.
It's just, living with that memory, I could say. That's all about me.
The now 20-year-old says at the time he felt humiliated by the situation. Shaken up by the incident, Roll was unable to take 3 BGCSE exams after he was released from police custody. Roll's family released a 2-page statement on the incident. In it, they called for the enforcement of body cameras on each police officer to prevent instances like these. The former head boy says he views police officers differently, adding something needs to be done to prevent situations like this.
And I still respect them, but I can say that, if I was to describe them, one word, it would be lawless,
He had this to say to anyone who may end up in a similar situation.
I'd encourage them to, stand firm, seek legal support.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
All right, thanks for that, Berthany. Well, 2 weeks after a blaze gutted 4 stalls on Portis Key, vendors who had their livelihoods destroyed are set to get help in the form of an agreement worth over $54,000, Joshua Williams reports.
Christmas has come early for those 4 stall owners who lost their establishments as a result of that fire at the Portis Key dock about 2 weeks ago. The Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources announcing that thousands of dollars will be given to those owners to assist in the rebuilding of those stalls.
Therefore, the ministry is seeking to establish a credit line with a reputable company to assist with the rebuilding of those stalls. This would be provided in the amount of $64,000+, which equates to just a little over $16,000 each of the 4 vendors.
The ministry also committing to implementing preventative measures, strengthening safety protocols, along with conducting regular inspections and training for the fishing industry. Something President of the Portskeet Dock Food and Vegetable Vendors Association President Ominique Bowe is on board with.
So definitely we would be working together hand in hand as previously to make sure that that area is secured, that area is kept clean, and a lot of other measures that we've been seeking for through the years be put in place so the vendors would be able to operate in a manner that is sanitized, is safe, and productive.
Winston Beckles has been at the dock for over 25 years. He says the relief is much needed.
I am very happy, but my stall costs much more than that. But we'll see where it goes from here. You know, I had a very up-to-date stall on Portskeet. Anyone could tell you who you ask. So I'm happy that they decided to assist us.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
All right, thanks for that, Josh. Well, over 8,000 tickets were up for grabs as Alive officially launched its Junkanoo ticket sales at noon. Much of those seats for the 2023 Boxing Day parade now gone, as nearly all of the prime seats have been sold out. While this may disappoint many, Alive's Chief Information Officer Dwayne Davis explains that many of those prime seats were reserved ahead of time.
Of the 8,114 tickets, for Boxing Day, 37% were preserved for sponsors, to JCMP and others. Sadly, everybody wants to sit in Roslyn Square and everybody wants to sit in front of Scotiabank. Where did most of that 37% come from? In Roslyn Square and Scotiabank. Those areas are sold out, but there are other areas on Bay Street that are available for purchase.
Now, the company admitting to having challenges with the Live's Events app once tickets went on sale at noon. They say those issues have been resolved.
And we have heard that some people may have had some issues with the app. What we have, the last update I received is that payments are now going seamlessly, and there is still availability in other sections for both parades.
It's no conspiracy. No, we did not take all the tickets out before it went on sale. And myself, nor Amber or the Minister of Dion, we have no secret stash of tickets anywhere in hopes of pulling it out. Unfortunately, and it's important to note that Alive provided the app, but we have no control over the allocation of the pre-sale tickets, which goes to sponsorships.
All right, well, we have a whole lot more to get to, but first, meteorologist Greg Thompson is live in the Weather Center. Greg.
I need one of those tickets. Pretty nice on the outside. We do have some temperatures that were in the 80-degree mark. Exceptionally warm for the Christmas time. 76 degrees outside our studios right now. The winds are variable at 5 knots, so those winds are going to continue to fall, and we're looking for the temperatures to continue to drop. Your field side temperature is at 74. Taking a look at the satellite, well, we first get to the radar using the Bahamas Department of Meteorology's radar. A couple of isolated showers associated with a surface trough that's been moving through the central Bahamas. It's now moving into the northwest Bahamas, but there's another one coming down towards the southeast Bahamas. That should be moving into the area, and that's going to bring us some more showers, isolated and light though. And of course, we are watching a cold front that's going to be moving into central Florida late tonight, but that front is expected to move into the northwest Bahamas early tomorrow morning. And the second one that's expected on Thursday, that's going to bring us a real change in our weather. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us. A look at the extended forecast is still to come.
Still to come on Our News, record-breaking tourism numbers this year. Hear what tourism officials are saying about it. Also, do you know how to live like a royal? Our Daniel Miller takes you through the grand experience at the Atlantis Resort. And later, a senior executive at the Atlantis Resort sharing some of their accomplishments here at the resort over the past 25 years. That's all coming up when Our News returns.
Doctors Hospital is reimagined primary care. We have invested to improve our health system, ensuring that accessible, affordable, world-class clinical care is closer to you. Your relationship with a primary care provider shapes the foundation of your overall health. Our new, modern primary care facilities are where critical diagnosis and true personalized treatment begin. With locations across New Providence, Grand Bahama, and Exuma, we invite you to experience the Doctors Hospital difference. Book your next appointment at clinics.doctorshos.com.
It's a story that's been 25 years in the making, and Our News is here to tell it. The Atlantis Resort opened the world-famous Royal Towers 25 years ago. Watch Our News live at 7 and 7:30 nightly starting December 4th for a week on location from the towers. It's time to celebrate and commemorate 25 years with the place helping to make our tourism industry great. Join us for the biggest birthday party in the country starting Monday, December 4th.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable.
As the Bahamas sees in new record-breaking tourism numbers, the Nassau Cruise Port is also setting new records. Chief Executive Officer Mike Morrow telling reporters today the port welcomed over 3 million cruise passengers by the end of November.
We had a very material milestone back on November 24th, where we would have met our 2019 numbers of actually surpassed 3.86 million passengers, and we'd actually done 3.87 million on that day.
Morrow says NCP is working to reach 4.2 million passengers by year's end. He says projections for 2024 confirm cruise passenger arrivals beyond 5.6 million. Morrow says stakeholder talks reveal they've seen an increase in passenger spend from cruise passengers.
Based off the conversations that we've had with our taxi driver partners, tour operators, hair braiders, and the different artisans that work within this space, they have indicated that the spend is up. They've indicated they're doing very well. The fact is that we have increased passenger volumes. I think it's logical and reasonable to assume that if you're bringing in, 500,000 more passengers, you're going to have collectively more money being spent in our local economy.
All right, great news. While the Royal Towers is home to several restaurants, there are also lots of activities for people of all ages. Our Danielle Miller joins us live from the resort. Danielle?
Hey, Italia, and hey, Bahamas. I have so many fond memories of this place from when I was a child that's rest upon my heart for years to come. But as a big girl now, and I get to enjoy the adult side of the Royal Towers now. But today, I just give you 2 samples of the grand attractions that the Royal Towers has to offer. Take a look.
The history of the Royal is a rich one. Thank you, Mr. Ferguson. But what's even more fabulous, the experience it has to offer. From you arrive, everything about this place just screams paradise. Overlooking the marina, it is definitely a sight to see. When you walk into the Royal, it gives you literally an Atlantean empire with all of the detailings that are surrounding from top to bottom of this place. And then, of course, you have your check-in desk, you have your guest services desk, and you have your VIP lounge. Once you check in, you will receive a complimentary water canteen, as this is a bottleless facility. Also, here's a fun fact. The Royal houses the largest open water aquarium in the Caribbean. sure everybody who's been here before remembers the crawfish. From top to left to right, you're surrounded by them. Now, the lobsters are not the only memorable thing in the dig and the aquarium that you know it by, but there's a vast majority of sea life that is represented here that kids and parents will go, oh, wow, for.
You and I, we were meant to be. I feel it in my soul. Feel it in my soul.
Now that we've had some family time, it is now the moment for some adult entertainment. Welcome to the Royal Casino. Well, that does it for today's adventure. Be sure to stick with us all week as we show you how to live it up like a royal. I'm Danielle Miller, reporting for Our News.
It was so good reuniting with the fish at the dig, also known as the aquarium. But this week, I have food, I have fun, and a good time to serve you right here from the Royal at the Atlantis Paradise Island. So stay tuned and be sure to win and tune in. We have more about that on our social media platforms. Back to you, Italia.
All right, Danielle, looks like you had lots of fun. That's our Danielle Miller reporting live for us from the Atlantis Resorts. And keeping that royal touch is the job of a team of executives here at Atlantis. We're happy to be joined by Atlantis Senior Vice President of Government Affairs and Special Projects, Vaughn Roberts. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Well, we've been hearing about what has made Atlantis so special over the last 25 years. How have you been able to keep up with the needs of the evolving traveler? We've seen so many changes over the years.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we've been a market leader all this time, being the largest player initially in 1998 and continuing to be the largest player, the largest resort in the Bahamas and in the Caribbean. So, we've got a phenomenal management team and a phenomenal team of employees that just keeps us connected to the guests and and ensures that our guests are having an enriching experience while they're there and creating memories with their families while they're there as well.
All right, and we just saw that report from our Danielle Miller. There's so much to do here, so much. What sets the experience here at Atlantis apart from your competitors?
I think it's really the range of things to do here. We do a great job with kids and families. Our water park and our marine habitat, Dolphin Key, phenomenal. And we have a particularly compelling entertainment program with concerts, our concert series. Our casino is always live and animated. And our restaurant mix, we spent the last few years kind of retooling our food and beverage offering just to be competitive. And I think we've come up with something that's really special.
And how do you keep that competitive edge? I'm sure a lot goes into it. It takes a team of professionals to get the job done.
Yeah, we're it's a great time to be a resort professional. We travel the world as professionals, and we listen to our guests, and we see what is being offered elsewhere, and we see what they're asking us to offer here, and we're always trying to be out front. As an example, we started Battle for Atlantis 13 years ago now, with the men's tournament, and 3 years ago we added the women's tournament, and it's just added to the offering here. So we're always trying to stay out front, always trying to innovate, and I think we've done a great job of it.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Roberts. Of course, that was Atlantis Senior Vice President Vaughn Roberts, and thank you again for letting us share this moment with you and the company. Well, we have a whole lot more coming from the resort this week as we help Atlantis celebrate 25 years. And we got numerous giveaways for our viewers. Head on over to our news social media pages to find the trivia question that could land you dinners for 2 or extended stays. And guess what? Tonight's question is available now. Be sure and get your answers in. You can find the rules for this special giveaway at Our News Bahamas on Facebook.
It's now time for tonight's Financial Market Minute, brought to you by RF, your local investment bank. This has been your Financial Market Minute. To explore the best performing mutual funds in the Bahamas, visit our website at www.rfgroup.com.
The Best of the Best Regatta wraps up and the Bahamian college football players going bowling in Hollywood. Don't go anywhere. Our sports is coming up next.
Nice weather conditions in the capital on this Monday. Greg is back with your extended forecast right after this quick break. Stay with us.
It's a story that's been 25 years in the making, and our news is here to tell it. The Atlantis Resort opened the world-famous Royal Towers 25 years ago. Watch our news live at 7 and 7:30 nightly starting December 4th for a week on location from the Towers. It's time to celebrate and commemorate 25 years with the place helping to make our tourism industry great. Join us for the biggest birthday party in the country starting Monday, December 4th.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
It's a story that's been 25 years in the making, and our news is here to tell it. The Atlantis Resort opened the world-famous Royal Towers 25 years ago. Watch our news live at 7 and 7:30 nightly starting December 4th for a week on location from the Towers. It's time to celebrate and commemorate 25 years with the place helping to make our tourism industry great.
2023 Best of the Best Regatta is in the history books, and a Bahamian college football player is headed to LA. Here's Tage Adderley with a check on sports. Tage?
Thanks, Natalia. Good evening. Welcome to Our Sports. I'm Tage Adderley. The Best of the Best Regatta wrapped up yesterday. Right behind me in scenic Nassau Harbor, we have the results. Lady Kayla won the E-Class out of Exuma, that's the youth division, crewed by Joss Knowles and Keanu Hutchinson. Last year, Triple Crown winner Stephen Knowles out of Long Island won 2 of the 3 classes this year, taking B-Class in the new Susan Chase and the C-Class in Sassy Sue. The silent partner, skippered by Exuma legend Buzzy Roll, won the A-Class with Knowles coming in second and running tied. This year's edition of Best of the Best may have been the best one yet, but with sailing being declared the national sport of the country and a big push for youth development, the sport's best days may be on the horizon. Moving over to the gridiron, LA is a land of Hollywood, Sunsets, and G-Funk, but Prince Jordan and the boys from Idaho are going to try to take the city over. The 6'5" freshman wideout and his Boise State Broncos will play in the LA Bowl after Saturday's Mountain West Conference title win against UNLV in Las Vegas. The game will take place against a hometown squad in UCLA at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood. Strawn had 9 catches for 237 yards and 2 touchdowns in limited snaps in his first campaign, but when he did manage to get on the field, his combination of size and speed made him an absolute menace, like when he had 3 catches for 128 yards and a touchdown against New Mexico last month. The game, which is hosted by former NFL great Rob Gronkowski, will take place on Saturday, December 16th at 7:30 p.m. Bahamas time on ABC. That's all for sports today. Joining you from the beautiful Atlantis Resort, I'm Tage Adderley.
Still ahead on Our News Tonight, Greg Thompson is back live from Atlantis with a look at the extended forecast. Stay with us.
First 30.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
It's a story that's been 25 years in the making, and Our News is here to tell it. The Atlantis Resort opened the world-famous Royal Towers 25 years ago. Watch Our News live at 7 and 7:30 nightly starting December 4th for a week on location from the towers. It's time to celebrate and commemorate 25 years with the place helping to make our tourism industry great. Join us for the biggest birthday party in the country starting Monday, December 4th.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus, it ensures that your messages are delivered directly to your customers' cellular phones, guaranteeing higher engagement. Save time and boost your outreach with SMS bulk messaging. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication
You're looking at live pictures outside the Sol Kerzner Suite outside the Royal Towers at Atlantis as we celebrate 25 years. Welcome back to this special edition of Our News. And as promised, we'll have loads of giveaways for our week-long broadcast from Atlantis, including dinners for two and extended stays. Remember to visit Our News social media pages to participate in that trivia that could land you one of the prizes. And we've already got our first winner. Our first trivia question: what day, month, and year was Royal Towers officially opened? Our News follower Di Nisha answered December 10th through 12th, 1998, which means, Di, you are the winner of a dinner for four at Poseidon's Table. Congratulations, Di. Remember to stay tuned to Our News for the entire week from the Atlantis Resort as we celebrate 25 years of the Royal. Well, a few showers across the capital today, but what will the rest of the work week look like? Meteorologist Greg Thompson is live on location at the Atlantis Resort. Greg, I know you're a bit disappointed because you wanted to win those tickets.
We can't win everything. So, yeah. But I will definitely enjoy the stay here as we produce the weather segment here at Atlantis. And it's been a very warm day around the islands. We saw temperatures get up into the 80s. 88 was the official high yesterday. We got another 80, somewhere around that today. Normally it's around 80 degrees during the daytime, but we expect a couple of cold fronts, so we're looking for a cool down once those systems move through. You mentioned a couple of showers earlier today across the capital. That's a surface trough or a weak disturbance in the low-level flow that moved across our area. It's now pushing into the northwest Bahamas. There's also another one down near the southeast Bahamas. That's going to be moving towards the northwest as well. But here comes the front, now across central Florida. Lots of upper-level clouds associated with it. The front is going to actually fall apart by the time it gets to the northwest Bahamas early in the morning. But there's a more significant boundary expected by Thursday, Wednesday into Thursday. That one is going to usher in a nice change, so we're looking for some temperatures in the 70s, and nighttime temperatures will dip into the 60s. Boating forecast, if you plan on doing that through tonight and into tomorrow for the northwest Bahamas, your winds will be variable at 5 to 10 knots ahead of that front, but once the front goes through, they will be out of the northwest at 10 knots, seas 1 to 3 feet, but we still have some swells out there, so we're asking you to exercise a little caution. Low tide was at 7:19 tonight, your high tide taking place at 1:24 in the morning. For the southeast and central Bahamas, southeast to southerly flow, 5 to 10 knots down there as well, seas 1 to 3 feet, and of course, we still have some swells, so up to 5 feet along Atlantic exposures. Your extended forecast, as I mentioned, one front comes through tomorrow morning, and then we have a second one on Thursday, late Wednesday into Thursday. So temperatures will be back into the 80s once again tomorrow, but we are going to see some 70s throughout the remainder of the week. And of course, as I mentioned, those nighttime temperatures will be in the 60s. So look for some nice changes and a more significant front next week as well. Back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Greg. And once again, congratulations to our first trivia winner, Dionysia, who won a dinner for 4 at Poseidon's table. And remember to tune in to Our News this entire week for more chances to win. With that, we thank you for joining us for Our News Tonight, live from the Atlantis Resort, as we help them celebrate 25 years. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Natalia Hall. We'll see you tomorrow night right here again. Have a great evening.